The higher education section in Paris. I'm looking for responsibilities for the higher education in the Arab states. We have 19 countries in the region. And it's my pleasure to welcome all of you today to this session, and also the pleasure to introduce you, Mr. Carlos Grau. I haven't met him before, so I think I don't know his biography at all, and I think I'll pass the floor to him, and he will introduce himself. This is in the honest way. So please, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you very much. Do you have the?
Yes.
Excellent. So, thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to be here today. Thank you for UNESCO for inviting us. Well, I am the CEO and General Manager of the Mobile World Capital Foundation. We are a public-private foundation with basically two goals. One is to contribute to make the Mobile World Congress, which is one of the largest technology events in our planet, a success. It's an event that we are having in Asia Pacific in Shanghai every year. We are having in the United States also. In the past was San Francisco. This year will be Las Vegas and in Barcelona. But my major goal is to leave a legacy, an economic and social impact from being the Mobile World Capital, having the Mobile World Capital here. We are a public-private partnership. Now that we are facing challenging times, we talk about a lot about public-private partnership. And in the Mobile World Capital, the GSMA is there, and one of our focus is to anticipate the future of the impact of internet services. And talking about technology, and I think that is one of the topics, how technology will impact higher education. Probably, if I'm not wrong, how technology will impact higher education. We see right now how the new generation of telecommunication services, especially 5G, 6G, will have a major impact. As you know, this new generation of telecommunication services is having big times from the past. We are talking about high speed between 100,000 times higher than the speed that we had in the past with previous generation of 3G, 4G. We are talking about faster response time, what the technicians talk latency, basically real time, below 1 or 2 milliseconds. Below 1 or 2 milliseconds means real time. Basically, this means that drones, robots, self-driven vehicles will be able to interact with humans without risk, because the network will have the capability to respond in real time for mission-critical applications and low latency. So how technology will change our society, how technology will change education and higher education. We will see how humans use the opportunities that technology are coming, but from the point of view of the capital, what we have experiences with the 5G, and especially anticipating the future of internet services, what we have seen is one of the things that will change 5G is the possibility to have top talent working remotely and having interaction remotely to save lives or to have impact. This is an image of one thing we did in 2019. That was a big show in most of the TV channels worldwide. There was the first live surgery of colon cancer online, led by a doctor, a senior surgeon, that was Antonio De Lacy, that was with us in the facilities of the Mobile World Congress in Fira Gran Via, leading in real time a surgery online of one of the most digitized spaces in the clinic hospitals, with other surgeons that were, I will say, more juniors, and Antonio was the expert, and they were managing in real time with laser devices and with high-resolution cameras the way how to make the surgery. So this was for us a show how the high-speed bandwidth that the networks will provide will give us the opportunity that talent remotely could have impact in some activities. In these cases is healthcare. A senior and a very expert surgeon, one of the top surgeons of colon cancer worldwide, Antonio, leading thousands of kilometers away a real-time intervention, and also training and providing training and coaching, I would say mentoring, and how to execute the high precision in surgery online. So technology is opening new doors, especially when we talk about high-speed networks, and when we combine high-speed networks with artificial intelligence and natural user interfaces. Basically, when we talk about interfaces that recognize voice and manage data, we see opportunities right now in our future as, for example, emotional robots. This is one of the projects that we are deploying right now. We started the pilot with children, but now we are deploying with older people that over 65 or 70 years old, some of them that live alone and have risk of depression. So it's the technology of robots with artificial intelligence and 5G combined with speech recognitions has social impact, because this kind of robots can help people to follow their treatments from the point of view of healthcare, to communicate with their relatives, with their friends, and improve the quality of their lives. So technology is disrupting right now. We see big changes going on. These changes of high speed, ultra high definition, we talk about ultra high definition when we talk about 5G, is making dreams true. One of them is to make true the dream that we have seen in movies in the past. I don't know if you remember the movie of Star Wars, when the Jedi had a meeting with the rest of the Jedi to take decisions about what to do with the challenges that we face. And if you remember the movie of Star Wars, the image and accuracy of the Jedi in the hologram was not very good. It had some kind of interferences and didn't work properly. Right now we see that through high definition networks and holograms, we can have 3D objects, we can have people connected remotely with the experience and with the appearance of being physically there. So imagine a teacher in the Stanford University doing a collaborative class with other teacher of the Barcelona University. And one of them will be physically online and the other will be through hologram. For most of us, it will be difficult to differentiate if the people that is there is real, is a physically. The level of quality and accuracy of the images give us the appearance that you are in front of a real physic a person or a real physic object. No? This is something that we did last year. This was 2021. We did, this is a holographic cabin. You see the production here, and you see the images in the cabin. But the new generation of holograms make the possibility to transport, to make the opportunity that talent and teachers could execute part of their classes remotely, or could do collaborative classes with other teachers remotely. This is changing a lot of things right now. When we talk about how this high-speed network, ultra-high definition, low latency are changing our lives, we think a lot on what's happening with the world of virtual reality and augmented reality. And right now, probably in the newspapers you have followed it recently, what's happening about the use cases of the metaverse. We are right now in a pilot project, will be for primary and secondary with four classes, with one of our members of our board, who is the Vodafone Foundation, and with Samsung, to explore opportunities of what will be the use cases that we can develop through artificial intelligence and basically leveraging virtual reality, augmented reality, and the metaverse in the classroom. At this case will be primary or secondary, but I'm sure that this kind of use cases will impact in the future also higher education. Higher education from the point of view that virtual reality and augmented reality give you the opportunity to train people with things, with experiences that till now have been impossible to do if you are not physical. For example, a laboratory of electronics or a laboratory of mechanics, or a laboratory of physics, where you really manage devices, that now the opportunity that virtual reality and augmented reality give you the opportunity to train people on this kind of experiences remotely. Universities, technology centers, right now, we see that have a huge impact and a great opportunity to impact our society, and one of the major challenges we see is how we transfer the excellence of some of the research that we have in our scientific center to the industry. This is a big challenge in a lot of our regions. We have excellent research groups that focus on production of papers. That is great to produce paper and produce reports. One of the major challenges is how we take this excellence of research to the real life. This is the image of the logistic infrastructure of one of the most complex ports that we have in Southern Europe, after Rotterdam, in Amsterdam, in Netherlands, who is the Barcelona harbor. And where you will see there are a lot of logistic infrastructure, and there is one group of research of the Computer Vision Center of the Autonomous University, combining research with entrepreneurship. We have basically joined talent to build the startups. And one of the startups that is really leading this place is Allread. Is a startup of artificial intelligence and neural networks that have the capability to read with high accuracy and real time containers with a lot of content and information that are in movement in trains or ships, to improve the logistics and all the supply chain in harbor. So we see right now an opportunity of the universities and research centers to take the excellence of the research, combine this with entrepreneurship skills in order to transfer and generate a new economy. One of the phases that we see right now, and probably the major challenge that we see right now, is that technology and digitization is impacting all our economy and our society. In the next 5 to 10 years, in our planet, there will not be any job, without digital competencies. A minimum layer of digital competencies, and this is a challenge in most of our ecosystem. So how we balance the high demand of digital talent with large corporations, with IT companies, with startups, with the situation that we are facing of the offer of demand that we are able to produce in universities, vocational trainings. There are a new sort of what we call new players on this space, the code academies, that are focusing a lot on fast training, on digital skills around basically projects oriented of learning by doing and fast methodologies. So, and we see right now opportunities because from one side, technologies are more complex. We are talking about right now the big change that blockchain will produce. We talk a bit later about the metaverse and quantum computing. But from the other side, a big trend that we see in the industry is that we will have, and we are having right now, technologies that will democratize and will make open and easy the work that we did in the past as software developers. When we talk about software developers, we are talking about improving a process in any organization. Could be in a company, could be in the public sectors. So there is right now a movement that is called, I don't know if you are aware, is called low code. Low code is a set of technologies that will help us through graphic user interfaces that anyone with a basic primary degree will be able to become a software developer. Gartner Group is forecasting that this will change our society in the next 2-3 years, and in our planet we will have 3 times what they call citizen developers. When we talk about citizen developers, could be journalists, could be teachers, could be lawyers, people that has not technology skills from their career, that thanks to low code, thanks to the ability to use usable graphical interfaces in a very easy way, they will become developers. So from one side, we have much more complex technology that will require higher skills, but from the other side, we see how low code and other technologies will help us, that people without technology skills will become developers and could help us to improve processes in any organization. Could be public, could be private. And this is really important. At the end, we see in the future, as I mentioned before, digital skills required almost in every job, but at the same time, a need to combine skills from the technology side with much more skills from what we call the social and humanistic side. What we have seen in the last few years is that technology is impacting our society. There are big social impacts, and we need just not engineers, we need people that has also knowledge of digital rights, have knowledge of ethics, have knowledge on how to develop algorithms with artificial intelligence, with ethics, and at the same time we need people from other careers with knowledge on the technology side. So this combination of capabilities and skills will be critical. Will be critical. And one of the major challenges that we have seen, especially during the pandemic, is that in our society we have seen that there is a digital divide. There is part of our population, there is part of the population that has not been able to follow their activities because of the lack of mobility. And just for example, to give you some figures, in Spain, we have had in the last 2 years around 10% of our students in public centers in primary and secondary that have not been able to follow their classes. We are talking about 120,000 students. It's not a small number, 120,000 students. And when you analyze what is the reason they have not been able to follow, you see that there is a lack of connectivity in some cases, outside of the big cities. You see a part of the population that do not have devices, but probably the major challenge is the lack of training and digital skills in part of the population to use technology that in the future will be critical because it's touching critical rights. Rights of education, rights of teleassistant and healthcare, rights of mobility. I don't know if you are aware that in the last 2 years we have seen a lot of our older people over 65 losing flights around the world because to take a flight you need basically to do 2 things that for us are very easy: to download your epidemic certificate, your vaccination certificate, and to download also the QR code of immigration of the country that you go. This is something that is, for most of us, through our smartphone with our passport, is very easy. For most of the people who are over 65, we have seen that it's a big challenge because they don't have the skills to do it. And here there is one of the big things that we have right now in the society: how we reduce the digital divide, how we ensure all of our population has a minimum level of digital skills. And how we also ensure that the digital rights that are below these skills are covered. We're talking about data governance, we're talking about ethics on artificial intelligence. And when we talk about ethics on artificial intelligence, other of the things that have been happening in the last 2 years at high speed is that in our planet, a big percentage of the population, a bigger percentage than we expected, works for digital platforms. I am also outside of town, no? What, 5 minutes, yes, 2 minutes. Digital platforms. When you think on digital platforms, you think, wait, what friends do I have working for digital platforms? You think on riders of Glovo, you can think on drivers of Cabify or Uber, but you will see that there are high level of jobs, of engineers, lawyers, that basically work for platforms that distribute to jobs globally. This is a big trend of self-employment of a lot of people, and some of them with higher qualification. Could be domestic services, could be others. No? In Spain, 13% of the population works for digital platforms. In India, 20% of the population works for digital platforms. In Latin America, in most of the countries, between 15 and 20% of the population works for digital platforms. Digital platforms are robots with artificial intelligence splitting jobs to humans. Basically, to make the story short, to make the summary, at the end is artificial intelligence technologies distributing jobs to humans. How we ensure ethics and transparency in these algorithms, how we protect the opportunities of the quality of the jobs of these people. This is one of the challenges that we are facing right now. This is one of the phases that we are. This is one of the phases we're challenging when the phases that we challenge, the challenges we face right now. So basically, when we talk about higher education, I think that this is a clear one of the classes that we are having in most of our universities during these 2 years, where the pandemic has forced us to have an hybrid environment. We see that technology is going faster than we expected. The social impact is bigger than we expected, and is changing a lot of the societies in our cities. And from the point of view of education and higher education, there are things as the artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality, the metaverse, and other technologies that will have impact, and for us represent an opportunity. Tomorrow we have the presentation of a joint report with EDT partners that we will present tomorrow about the future of education. That basically we have collected the feedback and the view from experts from around the world and how technology is impacting right now and will impact in the near future the education that we provide, and I expect that most of you will be able to join us. And I expect that we will use it properly. How humans use the technology in the future, how we balance the opportunities of this technology with ethics and with anticipating the social impact, I think that will be critical for our future. So, with regards to the timing that we have, I will stop right now. So and leave time for any question if there is any question from you or from my friends that are there, or anyone in the audience that can raise a question. Thank you. There is a question there. So let's have a mic.
Do you know any use case where technology is used for the silver economy?
For?
Silver economy, the new tendency of older people being back at work.
Back at work, no?
Yeah.
Well, people going back at work from what you...
So let's say you are retired, so the silver economy is considered all the retired people 65 or older.
Yes. Well, yes, yes. Well, basically, what we see right now is that digitization is generating at high speed a new jobs and opportunities for people, no? And you see, for example, people that has retired from their current jobs could be in large corporations, that they see right now, if they have talent and they have passion from, let's say, anything. Could be the kitchen, could be dressing, could be any kind of knowledge or expertise. Right now, there is a great moment of growth of the digital platforms that are trying to select talent in different areas and to share opportunities of interaction between offer and demand. We saw, of course, the e-commerce is the most easy way, but in most cases you see services online provided for people that are working remotely from different locations to provide support for organizations. Could be people expert in design, looking to products, websites, or any kind of content, people expert on any kind of activity that they provide their services through digital platforms. And this is a real trend that is going on. And we see right now older people that gets basically digital competencies and gets opportunity of part-time jobs in this kind of platforms. This is already happening. This already happened. More questions?
Thank you so much, Mr. Grau. It's a very inspiring talk. And probably during the last 3 years, we start to digest in education from the technology side. We start to digest the 5G because it has been a very big impact. But we start to receive ingredients for the 6G. What is the difference in the future for this type of different technology from the side of the technology? Because probably you start to speak about the ingredients from the human perspective, from the ethics perspective. I would like to know if we are going to receive from the 6G the possibility to receive not only from the technology perspective, even from the human perspective, some specific ingredients, or what is exactly the things that we can expect from this the 6G?
Well, I'm not an expert on 6G. It's right now in research, is at research level. But the trend that we have seen from 5G going on and the improvement that we see in the technology of the communication infrastructure, basically there are 3 or 4 ingredients that are changing the way we operate. The first is that the networks in the future will not be networks just to provide transportation of data or voice, will be networks of services. This means that we will have storage and computing power in the same network. Will be some level of services because will be computer power on the same network. The technicians talk about edge computing. The reality is the antennas of 5G have a computer and have a storage. They can manage and process data and provide some level of service and intelligence on top of what has been in the past transportation of data, transportation of voice. The second trend is the challenge on the networks regarding coverage and sustainability. Coverage and sustainability is one of the major impacts that we are seeing is basically the reduction of cost of the devices and consumption on energy. Looking to a paradigm that has been one of the paradigms that we have been focusing the last few years, that is making Internet of Things and having intelligence in anything around us. And you see that this trend is going on already in 5G and will be faster in 6G because microprocessors and connectivity to Internet will be available in devices that in the past for us were impossible to think. So we thought about intelligence on smartphones, on laptops, on cars, but refrigerators, of course consoles, any device in our factories, in our house will have capabilities to have IP interaction, will have capability to have power, and with much more less consumption. One of the trends in the industry going on in 5G that probably will accelerate in 6G is that we will have sensors that will be autonomous without need of connection to the power of the network for 8 or 9 years, and this is changing the way we operate in a lot of environments. So sustainability trend, much more intelligence on the network to provide services on top on transport, and of course, much more faster and bigger capability on bandwidth, no? On how we transfer content and high quality content. No? And when we talk about quality content and provide rich user experience and immersive experience, this in the future will impact education, because at the end, how we share knowledge, how you share content will have impact on the quality of your classes, will have impact on how your students remember, not just some of the elements, but also the experience of a real-time experiences, for example, in 3D or with an hologram, probably will have much bigger impact than when we take a current book, as we know. No? And in 6G, the trend is going in this direction: sustainability, higher bandwidth, and much more sustainability trends to reduce power consumption, and much more services and intelligence on the network on top of transportation. This is already going on in 5G, and the next generation is going to 6G. So, we are already there? No, there is time for a question? A more question? The last one? Good.
While many people are excited about all this modernization or the digital platforms, I'm somewhat unexcited because it feels like a new birth of a form of colonialization, which will be controlled by the few that have the control on the systems. To me, it feels like it's actually a recolonialization of the world.
Well, this is a concern already around the geopolitical battle that we are facing in our planet right now. No? But at the end, if you see the evolution and the impact of technologies, there is a direct relationship, especially in the long run, regarding investment on research, development, and innovation, and the impact you will have. No? US companies, for a long time, have been leading in our planet regarding cloud services and social networks. China right now is leading regarding sensors, IoT, and 5G infrastructure. They are really investing here. Israel has been leading for a long time on cybersecurity. So at the end, for the rest of the world, I think that there are huge opportunities when you see this kind of disruption that technology is bringing. Now we are talking about blockchain, we are talking about cyber currencies, we are talking about quantum computing. How these technologies will impact our lives is still under, and we need to discover. We need to discover. Of course, China and the US are leading, but how we use the technology depends on most of us. How we anticipate the social impact, how we use the technology that is produced for some of the large corporations in the US or large corporations in China, how we use the technology for a proper impact from the point of view of data protection, ethics on the artificial intelligence, algorithms, and services will depend a lot on us. Will depend a lot on us. So I think that, of course, there is the concern that the large top 5 corporations in our planet have huge impact on us, and the battle between the China and the US regarding research is there. But I see huge opportunities for Europe, I see huge opportunities for Africa and Latin America on setting the way how our planet will use these technologies that Americans or Chinese will produce from the point of view of ethics, from the point of view of sustainability, from the point of view of data governance. And the reality right now, honestly, is that Europe, when we talk about, for example, ethics or data governance, the GDPR is a reference worldwide on how we use and protect data and how we empower our citizens on the use of data to improve their services. No? And I think that there is an opportunity here basically on how we use that. I will not focus on basically on just the research, because it will require a huge investment from countries that do not have the resources. But I think that the disruption that is coming is bigger and faster than expected. And I think that globally what we need to do is anticipate it and take proper action and use it in a best way. Because the opposite, we have seen the consequences of a bad use of technology. We have seen the issue we face with Facebook with the share of data. We have seen if we don't train our people, there is a huge digital divide, and we have noticed that we are missing digital rights, especially in education, in primary or secondary of people. We see if we don't anticipate the change of jobs, we will have a big percentage of our society that we will be behind, because what is happening globally is that sequential and repetitive tasks in any organization, or universities, public sector, private sector, will be replaced by artificial intelligence robots everywhere. So everything will change, and there is new jobs that needs much more creativity, much more knowledge, and the things is that the jobs that will disappear will be replaced, but a bigger percentage of jobs that appear, but the new skills are different from those jobs that we are missing. So, say if you see self-driven cars in San Francisco that are already there, so probably the taxi drivers are clear that in the future they will not have a job in San Francisco. And then, so you need to ensure that you train your people. No, there will not be. There will not be. I'm sorry to say that. So you can go to San Francisco and take self-driven car through the app. So that's the reality. And this is happening in taxis. Is happening in other things. New jobs that will require more skills. We need to anticipate this change and train people to provide opportunities for our society. So, and the technology could be from China, from the US. I think that is how we use it is the most important thing, I think.
Thank you so much.
So, it has been a pleasure. Has been a pleasure.